Okay, welcome back. This is a tortoise update. And me, I'm also here. This is my Horsefield tortoise, Boris. I just wanted to give a little update on other stuff that I've learned. I'm going to try not to cuss. I'm refilming this video because I was cussing way too much. But yes, this is my Horsefield tortoise, Boris. Did not intentionally name him that, like, to rhyme. I really regret it. People talk about it all the time. They're like, Boris the tortoise, that's so cute. And I'm like, oh my god. It was just an homage to his Russian heritage, okay? So, but whatever. Obviously, like, things are a little bit of a mess, but he doesn't have any poop down here. I've cleaned up all his poop and stuff. This is brand new food, but these are my homegrown radish greens. He seems to not care for them at all, and I gave him some sweet potato, and he usually loves sweet potato, but he is just so ungrateful. And he has his cuttlebone, his scavenged cuttlebone. No cuttlefish were farmed in the acquiring of this cuttlebone. So I would always recommend you do that, and don't farm cuttlefish for your bones. Get them scavenged. But this is just a little update. I'm going to try to keep it really short about stuff that I've learned because I'm not perfect. I make lots of mistakes. I look back on my old video and I see like a million things that I would do differently, or wouldn't have said told people publicly. He does have water in here every day. Unfortunately, it's all gone. It evaporated. So got to put some more in there, but that's something that I've definitely changed, where I do keep water in here. Even though he's a desert tortoise, he never drinks it ever. But it does feel good. I think that I want him to be mentally okay. If I didn't have access to water, I think I would be very upset. So, but he does get a lot of his water from taking baths, which I give him at least once a week, and from his food. So, food wise, the last 2 times ago, he went to the vet, and the vet told me that he was underweight, and this was during the winter, so that's not surprising, but he'd lost too much weight, and it was really distressing for me, and I'm sure also for him. He wasn't eating very well, and I'm sure part of it was my fault, and I was mainly just feeding him greens, and he wasn't caring for them. He gets in his moods where sometimes he just forgets that his favorite foods in the world are right in front of him. So it was a situation like that. This winter, I'm probably going to do something a little bit different. Oh, and that's also why you need to go to the vet every 6 months. I think you should go to the vet every 6 months, regardless of the animal you have, because if I hadn't been to the vet, I would never have known he was underweight, because it's hard to tell. I don't like weigh him regularly, and I never thought to do it. And it's obviously, he's got a shell that's the same size. Like, it's hard to tell. And I also would never have caught a sinus infection like early on, and I wouldn't have changed out his substrate, and I wouldn't have started doing something different with his food. So it's really important, like, because those things can just snowball. And I managed to get him back to a healthy weight within a month or so. Like, he gained a bunch of weight. I started doing a lot of things different, feeding him much more variety than I was in the winter, because I got into this thing where I was like, he needs to eat his greens, and I didn't want to feed him like carrots or sweet potato, which normally he likes. But I was like, you know what? I need to just set aside this picky eating tortoise and do what's going to get him back up to a healthy weight so he can have some energy again. So that's what I did. Yes. Give him a bath every week at least, sometimes twice a week. But yeah, he actually spends a lot of time outside in the summer, which I would always recommend you do. If you can. Never, 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 never put him outside if there's pesticides, because he's so tiny. Look how small he is and cute. You don't want him to be inhaling and eating pesticides, okay? So if you can, if your apartment complex or your house, or you don't treat your own lawn, then put him outside. Like, yeah, like, get yourself some air, go sit outside, read, and let him have a good time. We're actually in the process of building an outdoor enclosure, so I will update everybody on that when that happens. Of course, we like get sidetracked with a million other projects, so that's not happened yet, but I just watch him. Eventually, I will let him be outside for like hours and I won't have to watch him. So, um, last thing, I don't know if I've talked about this particular enclosure. Oh, also coconut oil, organic coconut oil. I put this on his shell usually every time he gets a bath, so his shell stays nice and healthy. It's like a little vitamin for his shell. And he doesn't mind it too much when I'm rubbing his shell, so that's good. This enclosure we had built semi-recently. It's actually about the same square footage. It's smaller like this, but these wooden parts here are actually for the double decker, so we'll put that back in probably in the winter, but he's outside at least an hour a day, and he runs and runs and runs all around. So it's not like as vitally important in the winter, because he can be outside for at least a while and get his exercise in, and have, more space. He's got the whole yard. So that is my recent update. Hopefully I covered most everything. I still only use coconut coir. The fact that I ever used anything else was so dumb. Coconut coir is really inexpensive, and you don't need to get any of this stuff at a pet shop. Like, you can go to, well, maybe the lights. You can get them online or in a pet shop. But everything else, just go to Lowe's. Like, get yourself some cheap lumber, some cold lumber. That's CULLED, cold. They'll know what you're talking about if you get it. Get yourself some cold lumber and pick up some bags of coconut coir, and it's way, way cheaper than the upcharges that you'll find like for tortoise enclosures at, a pet store, or for coconut coir at a pet store. So find yourself some find yourself some stuff off the side of the road to put in there that he'd like. Make sure you clean it first, of course, but give him a rock, give him a shell, clean it. And yeah, I don't know. Vet told me again, he's the healthiest tortoise she's ever seen, so he's doing pretty well, I think. That's all. Peace.